So let's get it kicked off right now. We're going to talk about, should you grow and start your seeds indoors, or should you buy them from the garden center? This segment is brought to you by Happy Leaf LED Grow Lights.
Yeah, the segment is sponsored by Happy Leaf LED Grow Lights, proudly made in the USA. A grow light for beginners or advanced indoor gardeners. They have a universal use LED recipe that means you just turn it on and watch your leafy greens, herbs, vegetables, any plant really grow and thrive. It's the anywhere, anytime garden, a professional grade grow light with a home gardener's affordability. No fans, no motors, just plug in and grow. Find out more, visit happyleafled.com.
So when we talk about should we start our seeds indoors or should we not, there's not a hard answer. It really comes down to an individual and the situation which that individual has. Now, we're going to go over a couple of considerations for if you decide to start your seeds indoors or if you decide to to buy them at your garden center. We're going to give the pros and cons to both and then let you determine which might work best for you. Now, just as a disclaimer, Holly and I, we grow the majority of the plants in which we put in our garden, whether direct seed or start indoors. Now, there has been years where we've had indoor plant failures in which we've had to buy our plants. And we do support our local independent garden center and purchase a few plants in which, flowers or shrubs or bushes, berry bushes that we just don't start from seed and are already in a mature state. So let's talk about some of these things here.
And sometimes it's just what happens. You might start all of your pepper seeds and they just don't do well, and that's okay.
Or you go to the garden center and you are just looking, and then you come out with $149 worth of stuff, and then you got to figure out what you're going to do with it because you had gardener buyer envy or what. I don't know what you want to do.
I think it's called like a shopper's high or something. I don't know.
So let's talk.
Impulse buying.
If we're going to start our seeds indoors, we need to figure out where we're going to start them indoors. Are we going to do a basement, a bedroom like we do? We do it in the side bedroom and consider it a grow room. In a garage, in a greenhouse, are these places climatized, unclimatized? How is the heat source? Because that's the key here. We got to get these plants warm, the root zone, the soil, in order for them to germinate. Otherwise, it's not worth the effort.
Right. So that's definitely one thing you want to consider is where. So for us, we have it in our corner of our living room area thing, and it's right by a radiator. So that will give them the proper heat for starting your seeds.
Now, once we have established that, we want to figure out what are we going to grow in. Are we going to use a root maker grow tray? We're going to use the peat pellets, which are great to start with, but not so much in the long term. We'll answer a question in that in the latter portions of the program, whether or not and how to deal with that. But peat pellets are not the great source because they don't have no nutrients. They're great for the seed to get established, then take the netting off and up pot them. But overall, they're not that great.
And I think that's a common misconception is that they're often sold as like all you need, right? Yeah. Or something like that. And people don't realize that they're
no fail.
Yeah, no fail. They're just basically peat, more or less, in a little netting. And you do need to, after a couple of weeks, add some sort of fertilizer, whether it be liquid or something that you can give to those plants so that they have something to grow off of. So another thing that what we like to do is we use party cups for a lot of our seed starting.
And then, we need to figure out a benefit to starting your seeds indoors, Holly, is the variety, the endless varieties of different types of tomatoes, peppers, eggplants. The list goes on of what you can grow. For example, if you go to Seed Savers Exchange, or you go to their little kiosk, you buy a pack of seeds, pepper seeds for $3 or $4, and you get 50 pepper seeds. You buy $3 or $4 pack of tomato seeds, you get 25. And they have dozens upon dozens of varieties to choose from. And for $4, you've got potentially 50 pepper plants that if you save the seeds for, you'll have poundages of pepper seeds for the years to come type of thing. So the variety is there. There's a very easy, even hard selection to make sometimes because there's so many choices which one can choose in order to start indoors for their garden.
Right. So, yeah, you want to think about where you're going to get your seeds, what you're going to grow. as Joey mentioned, we have 38 pepper seedlings right now. But this is a decision that you have to make. You don't have to start your seeds inside. You don't even have to buy seedlings. You can just throw them into the soil and read the back of the package. But we've learned that we did a survey through our YouTube page that 76% of you try to start as many seeds as possible, and then 24% of you buy your starts.
So the key to indoor growing, I mean, we grew for years without using a grow light. And since we found the Happy Leaf LED grow light, our plants going out into the garden to transplant are as healthy, if not healthier, than the garden center plants in which we purchase. Now, a couple of years back, we talked with the owner about some indoor growing, but what Vic's going to explain is not only growing over the winter, but there's people that grow year-round indoors because they don't have the availability to do it outside. So we're going to take a little listen to what Vic has to say here. So keep that in mind. So growing indoors over winter with the Happy Leaf LED, there's a couple of things that somebody who is not familiar with that practice needs to know.
Right. So, we've spent a lot of time figuring out how you can grow successfully indoors. And the easiest things to start with are things like microgreens, lettuces, and herbs. But you can grow tomatoes, cucumbers, beets, carrots, anything you want. But the key is light. And, we've all known that you need water, you need the right nutrients. But light has always been the missing element. So in the past, people have built greenhouses to bring light in. But greenhouses are expensive to build. You need the space. The days are still short in the winter. You have to heat them, and you still have a lot of cloudy days. Now, with high quality LED lights, you can actually get 16 to 18 hours of growth or photosynthesis. They grow quickly. They have the right level of light. There's no cloudy days. And because your home is already heated and has the right humidity levels, you don't have to control the environment or do any kind of special heating like you would in a greenhouse. So Happy Leaf has spent a lot of time over the last few years making it possible to have an indoor greenhouse basically on a baker's rack. Get yourself a baker's rack, put a light on it, and grow your plants. We advocate a process called passive hydroponics made or developed by a professor by the name of Dr. Bernard Kratke at the University of Hawaii. But the truth is you can use any method you want as long as you have the right amount of light. And now it's possible, and the Happy Leaf LEDs were actually designed to give you the right spectrum. A lot of grow lights made in China or even various parts of the U.S.
Or the standard tube light that we're familiar with.
Well, a tube light or a fluorescent, They don't give you nearly the amount of light. They probably want 5 times not enough. And even the grow lights that just have white LEDs are not the optimal grow light. You want red light. And so red light with the right ratio can increase your growth by 250% with the same amount of energy use if you have the right spectrum. And the Happy Leaf LEDs were designed specifically to be able to do that.
And you've got several sizes available from 4-inch to 17 to 33, is that correct?
Correct. So basically the 33 was designed to cover an area of a 3-foot baker's rack. The 17 can do like a 2-foot area pretty much, and the little 4-inch light really is intended to do a couple of jars on your kitchen countertop.
Or even at the office.
Or at the office. A lot of our customers just buy it so they can do something on the office with a plant. But the 17 and the 33 are really the most practical if you're trying to grow some food at home or even your flowers.
And to find out all about the Happy Leaf LED grow lights, go to happyleafled.com. So with the Happy Leaf, you can grow inside, you can grow year-round. But what if you just want to buy at the garden center? What are the pros and cons? Well, there's a couple of pros. One being the plants are already done growing. I mean, they're already, the work is done for you. You just go pick up the tomato plant, the pepper plant you want, take it home, put it in the ground. However, the selection on the negative side, the selection is very limited because garden catalog, 60, 70 varieties, garden center, 8 to 15 maybe.
That's another thing is that you are at the mercy of their selection. So if there's a type of tomato or pepper or what have you that you absolutely love and they don't have it this year, then you might be out of luck growing it this year.
And the other thing, as we talked about earlier, you spend, let's say, $4 for a pack of 50 pepper seeds at Seed Savers. You're going to go to the garden center. Most garden centers, you're going to buy one pepper plant for about $3.50. And here we've got 38 started in the window. in party cups that will be transitioned over the root maker trays for $3.50. We've got 38 plants basically growing for that value. So it all depends on what works for you, your budget. If you're a newbie, this can be very overwhelming no matter which way you look at it. Do I start seeds indoors? Do I invest in multiple dollars at the garden center? Do I try to balance and do a little bit of both? And that's what we're here for. GardenTalkRadio@gmail.com. More than happy to help. There is no right answer or wrong answer to buy the plants or start them indoors. It's there's pros and cons for both of them.
Right. So the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show is brought to you today by our sponsor, Walton's Incorporated. Listen, we know you care about where your food comes from. Canning and preserving your fruits and vegetables is great, but what about the meat? At waltonsinc.com, you can get all the equipment, seasoning, and supplies to make sausage and jerky and any other meat product your way to your high standards. Want to make snack sticks that people will actually like? Walton's created meatgistics.com, an informational site to help you make the best finished product. Walton's even has a full line of their own meat grinders, mixers, and sausage stuffers to help you go from animal to edible. Walton's, everything but the meat. Again, that's waltonsinc.com. For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.